Another year, the coast would be crowded with holidaymakers, charabancs of visitors making the day trip from London, picnickers on the famous white cliffs admiring the view across the Channel to the coast of France, bathers on the golden sands waiting for fish and chip time and a pint of warm beer. No longer. Dover, England's nearest neighbour to mainland Europe, the town invaders from Julius Caesar on have identified as the entry point for any coming invasion, is readying itself for combat, close and bloody. Forces are gathering, professional and amateur. Shelters are being dug, gas masks distributed. On the winding country roads of Kent, signs are being removed to confuse the coming invaders. War is on the way, and all of Dover knows it. The harbour town received a premonition of its fate in May when the Dunkirk evacuations brought more than 300,000 weary and wounded British and Commonwealth soldiers across the Channel in a flotilla of rescue boats, large and small. Most have now moved on to camps elsewhere, training for the expected Nazi invasion. The sick and the wounded remain in Dover's hospitals and field facilities, helpless spectators, as the town built around the forbidding hilltop castle, home to Roman conquerors and English kings, finds itself under constant attack from air and land, readying its fortifications, visible and hidden, for the expected assault upon its coast. An understandable secrecy surrounds the preparations Dover is making for the future. The castle fortress is now home to a busy military complex barred to all but the privileged. Scattered around the town, barracks and gunnery emplacements going back to Napoleonic days are similarly out of bounds. How fare the ordinary townsfolk who stay behind, knowing they might be in the midst of war in weeks, perhaps days? Nervous, brave, determined, and with no small sense of urgent wildness rising in their blood. Most school children have been evacuated to safer homes, some as far away as Wales. Those that remain run the streets through bomb sites and artillery emplacements, untutored, untrammelled, parents too occupied to care. The civilian population has dwindled to those divided between the business of war and the cares of everyday life. Specialist advisors and strategists mingle with fishermen and grocers while naval crews man the harbour guns and its busy fleet, moored beneath a forest of barrage balloons that offer hopeful protection from daily aerial sorties launched across the Channel. Few bobbies patrol the lanes and alleys. Most are engaged in war preparations, wreathed in secrecy and subterfuge, unconcerned with the everyday and untroubled, it seems, by petty theft and the occasional outbreak of disorder. The Germans are coming. Nothing matters more than that. The stalwart English bulldog spirit the Prime Minister seeks to summon remains, though more muted than in the capital. Shells fall randomly throughout the town daily, aimed at the military installations, one assumes, but frequently missing their mark. The list of civilian casualties grows, marked by fresh graves in the cemeteries. More than 100 ordinary men and women have died from stray missiles that have destroyed homes and even entire terraces in parts. Bombardments come swiftly, sometimes with little chance for civilians to flee the shelters. These men and women of Kent are a hardy race, not made for cowering underground without good reason. Instead, proud of their insouciance, they stroll through the charred, wrecked streets as if life were normal and danger a mere inconvenience. The day before your correspondent arrived, a butcher was killed mid-afternoon while taking a delivery basket to a nearby home. The man was caught by a shell from an artillery installation 20 miles away, across the slender stretch of water the French call La Manche. Death may arrive from thin air without warning, save for the telltale whine that says nothing except you are too late. As Hitler rolled his blitzkrieg across Europe, your correspondent has followed the cities it has engulfed. Each approached the possibility of occupation in its own way, through varying combinations of fear and defiance, organisation and panic. Dover is unlike any other she has encountered. Aloof, alone, stranded, almost an island in itself, cut off from the norms of England, the rules and strictures that maintain that legendary sense of British decorum and calm.